Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Match Fishing YouTube channel. Today we're out at one of my favourite venues. This is Packington in the West Midlands, and we've sat on Geary's Lake. It's an absolutely brilliant lake. They catch sort of £100 or so here in matches, loads of big fish. Today we're out looking at the top of the range feeder rods from Nytro, which are the Marvelist TPS series. They're designed in conjunction with England International Tom Pickering, so you just know that they're going to be right. So we've got the 9-foot light carp, we've got the 10-foot, and we've got the 11-foot all-rounder. So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what these three rods are about. Hopefully get a bend in them, catch a few fish. Let's see how it goes. First chuck, and we're into a fish. I've been loose feeding some 8mm pellets, just kind of on a bomb line, and just fishing a little method feeder with some fishery 2mm pellets, softened fishery 2mm pellets on the method. I think that's a good tactic to use when you're feeding 8mm and fishing kind of that sort of line, because it really gives the fish somewhere to hone in on. What we got? Let's have a look. Where's my net? There he is. Nice little comment. He came in easily. A common or F1? Might be a big F1. No, it's a big F1 actually. Let's have a look at that one. Lovely F1 to kick off the session. Try and get his fin up. Look at that, what a cracker, eh? Here we go then. Fish number 2. What a savage bite. Literally nearly had the rod off the rest. But you can see how I set the drag just because of bites like that. You know, you can lose your kit, so you just got to be careful. Just set the drag a bit loose. I've actually got the butt ring of the rod as well up against the rod rest, so there's no way the rod can be pulled into the lake. So just a nice little tip there. So what I'm doing is, I know I mentioned it briefly, but I'm just fishing on probably about 25 yards, just on a bomb line where I can fire 8mm pellets nice and comfortably, and just fishing a kind of a medium-sized method feeder over the top. And I think when you're fishing this type of tactic, the method feeder really gives the fish something to home in on. If you think how many 8mm are out there, if you're just fishing a bomb, sometimes it can be hard for the fish to distinguish or, you know, pick up your bait unless they're feeding really aggressively. So a little method feeder, I just think it allows them to home in. This one's kited off down to the right. Just going to switch the rod up. But yeah, so rod-wise, I've chosen to use the 10-foot carp. So as I said in the intro, we've got 3 rods we're looking at today, the 9-foot light carp, the 10-foot carp, and the 11-foot all-rounder. I just think a 10-foot rod is a really good do everything kind of length. If we need to go a bit further, we can. If we need to come shorter, we can. But I know, and I've certainly heard a lot of people raving about the 9-foot model as well, so I was keen to take a look at that one in a bit more detail. This looks like a ghosty maybe. Is it ghosty? Yeah, lovely one. Just got that drag set just right. So if the fish does have a last minute lunge, you know, we're going to end up with it in the net hopefully, and not going to risk kind of breaking the hook length or the main line. No, I know a lot of anglers don't like to use the drag and they do prefer backwine, but I just think it's just that extra little bit of safety margin, just in case you've got that fish that really rips off. He's woken up now, he's near the net. Savage bite, and then he kind of wallowed in. Here we go. There we go. Lovely. There's some absolutely cracking fish in this lake, when in the entire complex, not just this lake, all the lakes. And this ghosty just proves it. What a beautiful fish. Perfect test for the Marvelist as well. Handled it absolutely no problem. What an absolute cracker. As you can imagine, these being Nytro's top of the range models, you know, they have put an awful lot of resource into making these as good as they can possibly make them. As I mentioned previously, the price range on these is £99 to £129. So you're getting an awful lot of tech here and loads of features. And being designed in conjunction with Tommy Pickering, you just know they're going to be good. So let's take a close look at some of the features. So crucially, Nytro is saying they're using this high modulus diamond carbon curve. Now, what is that? Well, that's a blend of carbons that they're using, 30 ton, 40 ton, to kind of manufacture these rods. So what that's going to give you is the perfect balance of power, finesse, performance. So if you find you need to punch that feeder a little bit further, the blank's going to let you, but it's not going to be so stiff that you're going to pull out a fish and things like that. They're basically offering you the perfect fish playing and perfect casting action all in one rod. Now, it's a very difficult balance to achieve, but that's something that, you know, they definitely have achieved with these Marvelists, because the couple of fish that I've had so far, the action's lovely on the rods, but there's certainly no shortage of power to punch that feeder out as well. Rings, they're really lightweight design. They're kind of this new age design where they're much kind of slimmer profile than rings that we used to have on rods back in the day. But this one here is the 9 foot, and it's ever so light and crisp. And when you've got so many rings up the rod, having lighter weight rings like this really does make a difference to the recovery and the action of the rod. So moving a little bit further down, they've got this beautiful carbon weave, kind of where they've got the graphics, which just adds a really nice aesthetic touch. And you've got the graphics overlaid here, Marvelist TPS Tommy Pickering series. And as I mentioned, this one's a 9 foot light carp. Underneath here, you've got a ring keeper, like a hook keeper. So you can keep your kit nice and organised on the bank, hook your hook on there, put it to one side out the way, and you're not going to end up in any tangles. Screw down reel seat. You know, this is commonplace on a lot of rods, but they've got kind of a mix of this Duplon and cork on the handle, and they've got this real nice secure screw down reel seat, so you're going to be able to lock your reel in place easily, and it's been nice and secure throughout the session. One of the most interesting things to me here as well is they've got this flat section on the base of the handle. So that's the piece that's going to kind of sit against your forearm. So when you're going to be casting out, you know, that's going to lock. Basically, they're calling it this padlock, Marvelist padlock, and that locks against your forearm just to give you that extra stability when you're casting out. You know, a round handle could slip either way off your forearm, but the flat's going to keep it in place and going to be able to punch that feeder out, you know, and get it really, really accurate. Some lovely little touches all throughout. As I mentioned, it's got part cork and Duplon, the flat section there, and then they've got some lovely little details on the rods like you've got on the end here. So as you can see, all the rods have got kind of the same features. Price range 99 to 129 for these 3 models specifically. There are a lot of other rods in the Marvelist range as well, but yeah, that pretty much sums up the features that are on offer here. Top spec, as you would expect. You know, Nytro have put an awful lot into making these rods right. So what do you say we get back on with a little bit of fishing? Well, this fishing's just getting better and better. So the more we feed, we're just keeping those 8-mils going in, and we're pretty much getting a bite of chuck, which is, you know, good fishing by anyone's standards. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the tips in these rods as well, because with each rod, you get a selection of 3 tips for each. Obviously, the strengths vary depending on which model it is. So whether it's the 9, the 10 or the 11. So the 9 footers come in with slightly lighter tips. Yeah, see, I just got that drag just right. So I had a little rip then, but you know, that's the sort of time when you can pull out a fish, and just having that drag set right is just going to save you on more than one occasion, I'm sure. So yeah, the tips, selection of 3 with each rod, and then all the tips are interchangeable as well. So if, you know, you can really kind of mix and match as you want to get the right kind of action and the right kind of sensitivity in the tip that you want. See if we can just get this one in. Kicking up all the mud down there. It's only ever so shallow here, really shallow. Looks like another common, I think, or looks like a common. Say another common. I can't remember if I had a common. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. Lovely. Really happy with that. Another lovely common. See if we can lift this one up. Lovely fish. such nice condition. Cracker. A beautiful fish here at Packington, they really are. Look at that, scale perfect. Absolutely cracking fish to catch. And as you would expect, the Marvelist rods handled it an absolute treat. Rod's just gone straight round, picked up on this one. 3 or 4 bow waves have just gone out. As I mentioned, it's quite a shallow swim, this. So obviously this fish hooking itself has spooked a couple of others there. But it just goes to show you, we've got a few fish there now. We really kind of got the peg going. And that's just come through, just keep feeding the peg, you know, and just keep building it up. Brief pause there just to allow that helicopter to come over the top. But yeah, I was going to talk to you about the action of this rod. So the high modulus carbon, as I mentioned when we looked at the tech spec, but it's got this diamond carbon curve and the playing action's lovely. It's got plenty of strength to punch the feeder out. And just when they're lunging like that, you can just see the action. The rod's forgiving enough just to cushion the lunges like that, but you've got plenty of backbone there to get the feeders out where you need them. You know, if we were to stand up and cast out, we could kind of really punch the feeder a long way, even though this is just a 10-foot rod. So yeah, they've really got the balance of both power and finesse and action just right with these rods. Let's see if we can get this one in the net now. You can probably just see the action there as I'm going to net this fish. It's got the line caught over its fin. There we go. Lovely little mirror. But yeah, cracking action on these rods. I think these are going to be the perfect choice for a lot of anglers out there who are kind of looking to buy